At Pokerebels, there are 3 things we like above all else: Pokemon analysis, GBA Pokemon games, and of course, hot chicks. Which is why today we have Torchic. It's safe to say that the Blaziken line was, and still remains, a fan favorite. And no wonder. Look at how cool this thing looks. But at Pokerebels, we don't like to be fooled by appearances, no matter how irresistibly awesome looking they might be. And thus, we ask, how well did Blaziken do in the Gen 3 games? Let's find out. Torchic starts off its adventure as usual, getting a normal move and a stab move a bit later on in Ember, moves with which it will have to fight Roxanne, the Rustboro gym leader. In its current form, safe to say it's absolutely destroyed by her, whether that be the Ruby Sapphire or the Emerald version of Roxanne. Pretty bad start considering both Trico and the Kip are good at this gym. Moving on, Torchic, now a Combusken, faces its next big fight, Gym Leader Brawly. Brawly has no particular type advantage or disadvantage against any of the Hoenn starters. However, Combusken raw stats, as well as access to an excellent stab move and double kick, make it extremely effective at dispatching its fellow fighting types, soloing most of the time. Maybe some other Hoenn starter could learn from this. And if you think Combusken does well on Brawly, well then you're in for a treat when it comes to Watson. Watson, in Ruby and Sapphire, has a team of Steel types outside of its Voltorb. If Combusken does not mess with the potentially exploding Pokeball, it can easily beat everything else. However, Combusken will have to be way more careful in Emerald, where Watson has a much better team. Combusken can definitely beat Electrike and Magneton, but come Manectric, it will be at a clear stat disadvantage and have to take the L. And speaking of stat mismatches, you might think, oh great, next is Flannery and her unkillable Torkoal, which Combusken definitely does not beat, and you would be correct given the Torkoal massive defense stat, except for one thing: bulk up and dig. If you set up Combusken to +2 against the weak Slugma, you can easily 2-shot the Torkoal, which you always outspeed. Now, even then, you are liable to some RNG mess-ups like full paralysis from Body Slam or Attract BS, but most likely, you'll be fine. You can also use this strategy against the Emerald Winona as long as you set up on the Slugma, which is not the lead of the team. The current lead being a much more unfavorable Numel. Next up is the dad of all Pokemon gym leaders, Norman. Norman will once again call us to use the patented dig strat to abuse the slacking Truant ability. Similar to Marshtomp, Combusken only beats one slacking thanks to its low stats compared to the monster facing it. Heck, even Vigoroth is clearly stronger and will 1v1 it. In Emerald, Combusken can once again be used for slacking or as an answer to the dangerous Linoon. Where Combusken is not an answer though is when known as Gym. The obvious type disadvantage it has makes it very useless, except against the Emerald Skarmory or Tropius, and even then it loses thanks to Ember not being strong enough. And to make matters worse, the next gym is the dreaded Tate and Lisa fight, which are the Psychic Gym leaders. Hoenn is definitely not the most forgiving region to fighting types. Now, you would expect Blaziken to just be double targeted into oblivion by the Psychic Behemoths, but thanks to it not being flat out one-shot and the way the AI works, it will probably manage to stay for some time on the field. The issue though is that it does not do enough while it's in. If anything, Blaziken being out makes it liable to either getting killed or set up on, unless its partner is a goat like Tentacruel of course. And last but not least in terms of gym leader is Wallace or Juan. Now, Blaziken actually is not that bad, believe it or not. The fact it can set up on Love Disc, dispatch Celio, and probably survive and kill Whiscash and Seaking or Crawdon as well makes it pretty viable. Though it of course fails to beat Melodic or Kingdra, as they are extremely strong water Pokemon. Against the Elite Four, Blaziken absolutely destroys Sydney and his Dark-type Pokemon, gets 1 or 2 kills against Phoebe thanks to Blaze Kick, and sweeps Glacia if it sets bulk ups. That is, unless you get hit by a sheer cold from Walrein, which, let's be real, it is never gonna happen, right? Right? And you might think that Blaziken is spitting fire on this Elite Four so far, but guess who spits fire as well? Drake. Get it? Cause there's a rapper called Drake, and Blaziken is a fire-type Pokemon. Do you get the joke? Do you get it? Do you get the joke? In case you don't find that funny, feel free to laugh at how badly a fire Pokemon does against Pokemon like Flygon, Salamence, and Kingdra. Against Champion Steven, Blaziken's moves come in very handy as you can beat Skarmory, Aggron, and Cradily, and even dent the freaking Metagross with them, though you have to be careful at how to maneuver around Steven's behemoths. Against Wallace in Pokemon Emerald though, yeah, you probably already know how that one goes. Overall, Blaziken is a super fun Pokemon to use that has good niches against many of the game's important fights, though it struggles against Winona and Tate and Lisa, but it remains pretty good overall. So, what do you think of Gen 3 Blaziken? Are you ready to join the hordes of trainers willing to kill and die for their favorite fire warrior? Or do you prefer waiting just in case they make another firefighting starter in Gen 4 or 5? I mean, just hypothetically, not like they're actually gonna make the fire starter always be the same dual type, right? Feel free to let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, have a great day.